whether it's Andrew or anybody else, anybody who's got relevant information should come forward to whatever the relevant body is. In this particular case, we're talking about Epstein, but there are plenty of other cases. It is anybody who's got information relating to any aspect of violence against women and girls has, in my view, a duty to come forward, whoever they are. One of the core principles in our system is that everybody is equal under the law and nobody is above the law. And it is really important that that is applied across the board.
The United Kingdom is not the only case. In Norway, Thorbjørn Jagland, a former prime minister and also former secretary general of the Council of Europe, has been prosecuted over allegations related to connections with Epstein. In the United Kingdom, Peter Mandelson, the British ambassador to the US, and also a minister in a Labour government, was forced to resign amid scandal. In Slovakia, Miroslav Lajčák, the foreign minister, left office during a political crisis. In France, Jack Lang, a former minister of culture, also faced pressure and lost his position as controversy erupted. You can debate each individual case, but when placed side by side, a clear trend emerges. Many countries are signaling that power is no longer an absolute shield. Senior leaders can be prosecuted. Former presidents can go to prison. Members of royal families can be arrested. That was not how the world operated for many decades. The story does not stop with politics. It extends into the financial world. Last week, the chief legal officer of Goldman Sachs resigned after internal emails revealed a long-standing relationship with Epstein, continuing even after he had been convicted in 2008. Epstein was first convicted in 2008. After that point, any continued association raises serious questions about moral judgment and institutional responsibility. When one of the most powerful investment banks in the world is forced to accept a resignation because of the consequences of those emails, the message is clear. Accountability pressure is spreading. Whether you are a politician, a member of a royal family, a former prime minister, or a president, power is no longer an absolute shield. Position does not erase responsibility. Titles do not stand above the law. But let's return to America, specifically Donald Trump. While many countries are showing that their systems are willing to reach the highest levels of power, in America the debate revolves around the scope of immunity, the breadth of legal protection, and the handling of information disclosure. The doctrine of absolute immunity, developed through rulings of the Supreme Court of the United States to protect the functioning of the presidency, has now been pushed further than ever under Donald Trump. Instead of serving merely as a shield that allows a president to carry out official duties without harassment from political lawsuits, it is being transformed into something close to an impenetrable wall. When nearly every action can be labeled an official act, the line between accountability and authority begins to blur. The issue is no longer about protecting the institution. It is about protecting the individual. And when absolute immunity is interpreted as broadly as possible, the question is no longer whether the president has sufficient power, but whether America is accepting a dangerous precedent, power standing above oversight. The contrast becomes sharper when placed next to the image of Prince Andrew being arrested. The British royal family, the symbol of monarchy, can be subject to criminal investigation. Yet the President of America, the head of a republic founded in opposition to tyranny, is protected by a far broader immunity mechanism. When asked about developments in the United Kingdom involving Prince Andrew and the Jeffrey Epstein files, Donald Trump did not delve into legal details.
Former Prince Andrew arrested by the police there, related to something with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think people in this country at some point, associates of Jeffrey Epstein, will wind up in handcuffs too?
Well, I'm the expert in a way because I've been totally exonerated. That's very nice. I can actually speak about it very nicely. I think it's a shame. I think it's very sad. I think it's so bad for the royal family. It's a very, very sad. To me, it's a very sad thing. When I see that, it's a very sad thing to see it and to see what's going on with his brother, who's obviously coming to our country very soon, and he's a fantastic man, the king. So I think it's a very sad thing. It's really interesting because nobody used to speak about Epstein when he was alive, but now they speak. But I'm the one that can talk about it because I've been totally exonerated. I did nothing. In fact, the opposite. He was against me. He was fighting me in the election, which I just found out through the last 3 million pages of documents.
America has long promoted itself as the world's leading rule of law democracy. But when other countries pursue accountability for senior leaders, while America becomes entangled in disputes over immunity and redacted documents, that image begins to be tested. In Canada, one of America's closest traditional allies, surveys show that the share of people who view America as a threat has risen significantly. When the rule of law is questioned at home, international credibility is affected as well. A country cannot easily persuade the world about democratic standards if its own public doubts its transparency. In that context, Donald Trump organized an event called the Board of Peace. According to official statements, it is presented as a new international cooperation structure, but the composition of participants drew attention. It largely included leaders from countries with highly centralized power structures. Major global powers did not participate. There is no prominent presence from key Western democracies. That raises a question: is this a genuine power structure or simply a political stage?